Nestled on the outskirts of our town was a vast, dense forest known as Marlwood. Its trees stood tall and foreboding, and its core was said to be so thick that sunlight couldn't penetrate it. Legend had it that those who ventured too deep into Marlwood never returned. On a chilly autumn evening, my friends and I, feeling invincible with the recklessness of youth, decided to test the myth. Armed with lanterns, we dared each other to reach the heart of Marlwood and mark our names on the legendary Watcher's Tree, a supposedly cursed tree at the very center. As we trekked deeper into the forest, our lanterns cast eerie, dancing shadows on the trees. The world outside seemed to fade away, and the oppressive silence of the woods weighed on us. Then, the first oddity, our footprints. They appeared doubled, as though someone was mimicking our every step just a moment after we'd taken it. As we continued, I began to feel watched. Every rustle, every breeze felt like breath on my neck. The further we went, the more I was certain that there was an extra set of footsteps echoing ours. Finally, we reached the Watcher's Tree. It was a monolithic, blackened oak, its bark scarred with countless names. As we approached, a chilling realization struck me. Among the old, faded carvings was a fresh one, James T., 1998. But that was my name and my birth year. How could it be here? Suddenly, a dark silhouette emerged from behind the tree. It mimicked my every feature, but its eyes, they were just hollow voids. We ran. The doppelgangers pursued, mirroring our every move, but always just a step behind. Their touch was cold as death, and where they grasped, our skin turned gray and numb. In our panic, we became separated. Alone and desperate, I recalled an old nursery rhyme about Marlwood. In the woods of dark and deep, turn not left, your soul it'll keep. Turn to the right, and you might find a way out of the shadows bind. Trusting the rhyme, at every fork or clearing, I veered right. The choice seemed to baffle my pursuer. After what felt like hours, I emerged from Marlwood, gasping. My friends appeared one by one, each having eluded their doppelganger in different ways. We never spoke of that night, but we didn't need to. The scars on our arms, where the doppelgangers had touched us, served as a constant reminder. Marlwood still stands, silent and watching. But now, when kids dare each other to venture into the woods, a new name joins the legends of Marlwood. Mine. In the heart of the city stood a classic, slightly run-down building known as Rosewood Apartments. It had a rich history, once housing the city's elite before it was overshadowed by newer, shinier skyscrapers. But it was apartment 13B that residents whispered about and avoided eye contact with whenever they passed its door. Before I moved in, I'd heard hushed stories about 13B. They said the apartment had been vacant for decades, and yet lights would flicker inside late at night. Soft piano melodies would drift into the hallway, and sometimes cries of laughter or sorrow would echo through its walls. Being an avid history buff, the stories only fueled my curiosity. One evening, after spotting a fleeting shadow move past 13B's window from the street below, I decided it was time to uncover the apartment's secrets. With the building manager's reluctant permission, I entered 13B. The apartment was a time capsule, furnishings from the 1930s, layers of dust covering every surface, and most surprisingly, a gramophone still spinning in the living room. But it wasn't just playing music. It was playing voices, conversations, laughter, arguments, cries, snippets of lives lived long ago. As I explored, I came across a diary dated 1936, belonging to a woman named Eleanor. It told the story of her passionate love affair with a man named William, their secret meetings in 13B, and their dreams of running away together. But the last entry was ominous. William hasn't shown up for days. I fear something has happened to him. The world outside seems strange and distorted. I'll play our song and wait. Disturbed, I did some research. In 1936, William, a wealthy banker, vanished. They said he ran off with stolen money. But hidden among old newspapers, I found a small article. An unidentified woman had been found in apartment 13B, passed away apparently of heartbreak. On my last visit to 13B, I set the gramophone to play Eleanor's favorite song, hoping to put her spirit to rest. As the melancholic tune filled the room, I felt a cold hand grasp mine. When I turned, I was met with the translucent figure of Eleanor, her eyes filled with sorrow and hope. She whispered, "Is he?" Before I could answer, another presence entered the room. The shadowy figure of William approached Eleanor, and for a moment, the room brightened with their reunion. The next day, apartment 13B was silent. No lights, no music, no echoes of the past. It was as if the apartment had released a long-held breath. And while the legends of 13B didn't disappear, they transformed. Now, residents spoke of the lovers from the past, their tragic tale, and their final, heartwarming reunion.